Hello and welcome back. We are back here at the solar panels after they've been out here for 2 weeks, and you can see that something has been messing with the box. I'm guessing it was a bear. When we'll know because we can get the photos off of the trail cam I have there, so we'll see what happened here. It looks like it's still running though. The fan here is still going, so it didn't completely stop it. Looks like all the cables are intact, and I was going to take a look at the solar it's made over the last couple of weeks here. I've been gone for 2 weeks. I was going to look at it and see what it's been doing, how well it's been doing in this. And right now it's like shady, right? So I'm sure it's not producing hardly anything. But if I go into the app on my phone, take a look at it. But if I go in the app on my phone and take a look at it, like right now, it's producing 0 watts. It's got amps on it. Looks like the battery is completely full because it's on float. If we go back and look at the history, it looks like it really hasn't made a whole lot of energy. You can see here, like when the first few days I put it up here, you can see it made a bunch. And then after that, it just hasn't been a whole lot here. And I wonder if it's because the voltage of the battery there is, 0 on the day we started with, so it needed to create power to fill that battery up. And then the next day it was, it was kind of up there, so probably generate some more power. After that, the battery has been full the whole time. So I'm guessing that's why it's just not generating anything, because it has nowhere to put it, right? Like all it's doing is putting power into that battery, and that battery is just running that small fan. That fan is using milliamps of power, so it's not hardly using anything. What I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna try and put this back over here. I see there's a hole in the lid on it though. I guess I'll make sure it's underneath there to make sure water hopefully doesn't get in there. And I think I figured out how to fix the ground fault that we were having before. And so well, at least what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually not necessarily fix it, but I'm going to disconnect the ground fault on that Renogy inverter that's in there. And then I think we'll be able to power that with this cord here. We'll be able to plug that into it, and that will be able to take into the stand over there. And that'll end up taking some more power off of this. I can turn the light on in there, and that inverter in there is just going to just draw power off of it in general. It's not going to be a whole lot of load on it, but it'll be a little bit more load on it. But without having a load out here, I think I'm not going to be able to really tell where to put these at, right? And I was looking earlier when the sun was out, when I showed up here a little bit earlier, that like this definitely doesn't get any sun in the morning when the sun comes up over there because of the trees. It's getting sun in the afternoon here, but I really kind of wonder if the real spot to put it is way over there in the North Basswood, is to put it way over there in that 5-acre field on the corner of it, because then it'll get sunlight almost all the time. But then I've got to trench a wire from there all the way to here, which I think I can do with the tractor without too much effort, but that's just a long run to make for a wire. So I was hoping to put it here. I think we might still stick with it here for it temporarily, I think, at least in the way it's kind of set up now, and just kind of see how it goes. At least the bears didn't destroy this. They only looked at that. They were curious about it, I'm sure. I'll put the videos off of the trail camera on here to see what the bears did. I'm assuming it's a bear. I don't think anyone else would have did that to it. So I'll have to get another lid for it in the meantime too, to keep the water out of it, or at least put a piece of plastic on there maybe. But hey, let's get into the box here and let's see about fixing that inverter up so that it doesn't have the ground fault on it anymore. And once we do that, then we could put some real loads on this to really see what's going on. You can see here there's even a claw mark there, right, where it popped this out of it, where they were just kind of digging into it. Like I said, it's all intact. Everything is in here. It looks good. Didn't really destroy anything, just kind of moved it around. We're gonna have to take apart this inverter to get to the back of it here, and I think there's a spot where I can disconnect a spot on it after looking online. When I disconnect that, then the ground fault will stop going off on it, I think. Then we can use this to power the shed over there for now, at least temporarily. Now you see here it's just on float, so like it's really not drawing any energy because it doesn't need any energy. Like that fan is taking, just like I said, it's milliamps it's taking out of that battery. Let's get everything disconnected, and let's get into this and disconnect the ground fault on this. I do not recommend you guys do this yourself. Like taking that ground fault protection off of there is not really a great idea, so I don't recommend you guys do it yourself. All right, so I disconnected the inverter off of here and took it apart. It's still got a charge in it, it seems like, because when I was taking off the bolts and hit the positive, it kind of sparked a little bit. But right here is where the ground fault happens on it. It's basically this device. It's watching the difference between the power and the neutral on it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take off this sensor right here. It's got some glue on it, looks like, that we'll have to peel off of there. That should prevent that ground fault sensor from going off, and then I'll be able to run the wire from there all the way over to that stand like I was trying to do last time. I think that'll solve it. Again, like I'm not telling you guys to do this because I basically just disabled the ground fault protection on this device. So you could definitely shock yourself and, you know, kill yourself with it. So I've taken that off. I'm gonna put it back together, hook it all back in here. And I think I'll be able to then take power from this, put it over to there. I'll turn some stuff over on there, and then that'll put a load on this. And so I'll get a better idea next week kind of how this is doing with the load on it. I think I've only got like one light bulb in there I can turn on. It's only like 10 watts, but hey, if it's 10 watts over 24 hours, right, that's going to be, you know, it's 2400 watts or 240 watts. So that'll be enough to start drawing power out of this. Plus it's going to want to charge that battery that's in there, and that inverter also has some just residual draw off of power off of it. So it'll all work out. I think it'll be enough to give us a better idea of what's going on here. You can see right now there's still no sunlight on this right now, and the sun is right there. It's almost noon. So I really think this whole thing is actually going to have to go out over there, which I just really don't want to do, because then I gotta, you know, drudge a line all the way back that way. Otherwise, I guess I could put it right over there by that tree and it wouldn't be too bad for hunting out of there. That might be another spot to put it, but then it's going to miss all the sunlight in the evening. Such a difficult decision to make. Anyway, I'm going to put that back together real quick, and then we'll hook it up into that inverter in the stand, and we'll see if we can actually get it working. Should work, I hope. Should be pretty cool. It'll be exciting if it does. All right, this is all put back together now. We're gonna turn it on. Looks like we got power. No ground fault right now. You can see down here the power light's on. No ground fault. So let's plug it into the other inverter and see if it still works or not. All right, so I've got the cable plugged in here. We're gonna take it inside of the stand over here. We're gonna plug it in and see if it works. I hope it does. I hope this solves our ground fault problem. All right, here we are in this hunting blind. Two cables. We're going to put them together. I don't know if we're going to need power or not. That should be giving us power out of the battery into this. Let's turn this on, see what it does. I'm going to go ahead and flip it to the on switch. It's got output of 112. Let's see what else we've got here. Temperature's 24 degrees Celsius. Pretty much no output coming off of it right now. That's the input to the battery. There's the input, so it's 113 input, no output. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the breakers here. See here, I've got power going to all my stuff now. Still no output out of that really, but let's hit the light and see what happens. We got the light switch here. I've got light in here now. And now it's drawing 0.1 amp off of it. So that solar array over there is now charging that battery that I got in that bucket, and then the inverter's running off of that and pushing power into this one. So it's a small load on there. What I think I'll have to do next is I'll bring something up here to plug into here that'll just be a good load on it. I have to figure out what I want to do to draw power off of this, just to see how it all works. Because what I want to try and attempt is, I'm thinking if I draw power out of that, then I expect those solar panels are going to produce more power, because they're going to need to replace the power in that battery. And that's probably going to give me a better test about how much power is really being used out of it. Here at the end of this, I'm going to go ahead and put the video in there. I checked the trail camera. It definitely is a bear that attacked that box. So I'll put that here at the end of this video, and then I'm going to just show you some statistics of the spreadsheet that I downloaded out of there to kind of show you kind of how the power looked. So that seems to be going all right. Let's go see how the other one still looks over there now that it's all working. I think this is going to be it though, guys. I think we've got the power going here with those solar panels. It'll give us a good idea how much power those solar panels are going to make. Here we are over back at this inverter. You can see there, no ground fault, just the power light going on. And this is still even in float mode, so it's just not pulling much off of that battery. I've got to put a load in there, some type of load, to see how this is really all working, I think. And right now you can see it's almost noon, and there's no sunlight on these right now at all, which means I could pull it that direction, but then I get, you know, shading off of that tree. I think I'm gonna have to put them out over there, I think is the real spot. But we're gonna let this run for one more week and see how it goes like this though. Okay, so that's all put back together now. Did poke the hole there, but I put that underneath there. Hopefully the bear doesn't drag it out again. It's probably gonna smell my scent on again, obviously, and hopefully it just sniffs it and walks away this time and realizes there's really nothing in there. Otherwise, I'm gonna leave it like that. I turned the light on over there. We'll leave that light running and see how that goes. See if it generates any more power. I'll put the video of the bear attacking that at the end of this video, and I'll show you kind of what the spreadsheet looks like as far as how much power it did generate. I think it's really just because that battery didn't need anything. It really didn't generate any power, but ultimately I think we're gonna have to put it over on the other side of that tree line over there. That's really what we're gonna have to do with it, I think. So you can see here, this is the first 2 days we had it out there on the 24th and the 23rd, and it made a little bit of power. It made 129 on the first day and 224 on the second day. And it was really just putting the power into the battery. This is the battery voltage. And then it got the battery voltage where it wanted it to be, and then it kind of just floated the rest of the time. So this is all the time it stayed in float. So it kind of bulk charged that day. It kind of bulk charged some afterwards, and it just kind of floated between the two. So it didn't really pull in that much power from the arrays, which is here from those solar panels, 49 watts and less. So it's either it just didn't pull the power because it didn't need it, or maybe this is when the bear messed with it and that's why it had a problem. But I think now that I have it hooked up, plugged into the other inverter in the hunting shed there, I think this will make a big difference now. Well, I don't know if it'll be a big difference, but maybe it'll make a difference, or maybe we'll see some of these numbers climbing up. We'll see what it looks like next time I get out there. So I want to thank you for watching. Be sure to like this video. Tell me what you think about what I'm doing here. Give me some comments down below, and we will see you guys on the next one.